All right. I thought that I would just do a quick little video. I wanted to um do a behind the scenes video of sorts where I kind of talked about some of the things that I made for the cast reveal that I thought were interesting, um, and show some of my favorite things. Talk about my process and whatnot. So I'm going to talk about the first big thing when it came to making this video was just the getting each individual clip. So every single time the shot changes, let me mute the or turn down the music. Every time the shot changes in the video, so like right here he's using his phone. The shot changes to Miki coming in from the right side of the screen and landing on his shoulder. Each of those individual shots were animated in After Effects to keep it it's very simple, all things considered. And I have a bunch of different After Effects files where I was just kind of like editing all of the animations in order. So, for instance, we have show phone, for example. I took this video that I also made in After Effects completely from scratch of him using the gacha. His hand kind of gets animated in from the right side of the screen and kind of swipes up. And you can just make the layer go invisible. It's very cool. Um, like I said, each individual shot was kind of animated like this. There's only two shots in the entire video that weren't animated like this, and it's the scenes where Anna is writing at the desk, and Otegan pops up over the edge of the desk and she's thinking about a brain. This shot where the paper is like zooming around was animated in After Effects just because I really wanted that smooth transition of the paper zooming out to the rest of the table. It's keep delivering the tea at 4:04. And then this entire sequence was also animated exclusively in Vegas. The text message conversation between Arduino and Violet. Very silly stuff. There's another shot that I want to talk about that I thought was really interesting. Oh, this part was also edited entirely in Vegas. I just made each individual photo its own individual frame in Photoshop, and then I rendered out a bunch of different individual glitch effects, and I kind of just positioned the text in a weird way to make it look like it was glitching out really hard. Ignore the really loud static right there. It's just because I turned the volume down on the thing. So I want to show. There's one thing in particular. I will show the phone zoomed in with just the footage for the phone, basically. So show phone, gotcha. This is what's on show's phone. It's actually a lot longer than it shows in the video, but I animated every single part here from scratch. That's what it looks like in its entirety, kind of zoomed in. Let it play one more time. Let it loop. Thought that was really cool. Nothing really too special to say about this, other than it was fun to make. And it looks really nice. This part specifically, I'm really proud of the way everything moves right here. It's very nice. And it looks really good in the final shot, too, where Sho is holding the phone. You'd probably never even be able to tell that the two are animated separately. Or, well, I mean, you would never be able to tell, really, that, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Point is it looks good. I'm proud of how it turned out. Another shot that I want to talk about that gave me a lot of trouble is the shot with V in the tree, which is on one of these. I think it's this one? Telescope? Yeah, so this shot was weird because I wanted to create the motion blur as Sheffield kind of looks around. So he is looking at a garden, and then it causes motion blur, and you can see, if you look close enough, you can kind of see the transition between shots. So what I did here was I used, if you look really closely, you can see an image that's you never get to see. In reality, I just Googled backyard house. I put it into Photoshop and put some motion blur on it, so I could just have it move through the scene and then cut into this area where it doesn't really look like it snaps really all that much, which I think is why it's kind of awkward to watch. But when it's in full speed, you hardly notice it, especially this transition right here. The way that I got the photos to blur in After Effects is I used directional blur, which I did not know of until after I started editing this, but it was definitely helpful. And then this original shot after it, oh god, is After Effects crashing? Hold up. After Effects crashed. So this shot, I was gonna say this shot, where it pans up to V in the treehouse. It's very sloppy. It looked very bad without me adding all the extra stuff in. So I'll go really slow frame by frame so you can kind of see. So, oh god, what? Does that? Okay, no, it's just loading. So essentially, it cuts up, and it's loading, and it flies by several other images that I kind of like layered to make it look a little bit better. It moves so fast you can hardly tell, but it moves past 2 individual tree branch PNGs that I slapped in. And underneath all of that is just a tree trunk PNG that I added. So it's like, I'll literally just remove these. So I think it's this one, and then this one, and then, I think legitimately that one, yeah. So without those, look how jarring this looks. It just kind of cuts up and it almost doesn't even look real, the way it kind of like transitions. But with all of these enabled, it moves so fast that it kind of like legitimately just looks like you're looking up at a tree. And it's supposed to be V's inside the treehouse, and he's got his conspiracy theory documents and all that stuff back there. And he's just like looking at Sheffield like, bro, what are you doing? So that's that. I think the shot I'm most proud of is the one of Sheffield walking, just because there's a lot of detail in it that I don't feel like comes across that well when you're just kind of like watching the video as it is. I will show you what I mean. There's just like a lot of moving parts that kind of like make it look really good. What am I doing? Sheffield walk. So I just like how as he's walking, he walks past a tree, and then the car flies by in the background. You can hardly tell, but it's like such a small detail. It really makes it feel like a lot more alive. And I feel like in the trailer anyway, the tree starts like right here, so you hardly get to see. I tried to edit the clips longer than they were so I could like slap them together in Vegas nice and neatly. But yeah, it's very, very neat, very cool. Car zooming by. The wheels don't move, there's nobody in the car, but the shot moves it away in a way where you can't really tell anyway. It's in the background, it's blurred. The zoom in also looks really nice because the background's so far away, it doesn't really zoom in that much, but the fence zooms in a lot closer too because it's a lot closer to Sheffield. So it's just a really nice little touch. I really like the way it came out. I like to think I'm pretty good with parallaxing and stuff like that, or at least trying to like mimic that same effect. And a good thing After Effects was really good at that kind of thing. Sony Vegas sucks at this so bad. It is honestly kind of embarrassing how bad Sony Vegas' like panning system is. It kind of pisses me off a little bit, but yeah. Last thing I think I want to talk about is the music. I don't know how many people really knew until I made an announcement literally like a few seconds ago, but I made the music completely from scratch. Some people might also know that there was another version of the song that I was going to use beforehand that was more inspired by the Full House theme song. And it uses the same chord progression and stuff. And it turned out okay, but the more I kind of listened to it, I think I wanted something more modern, because in the video, people are using cell phones and stuff like that and texting each other, and I feel like when you have something that sounds this like outdated, it sounds kind of old. I didn't feel like it completely fit the aesthetic, kind of. Of course, we definitely went for a very heavily inspired 90s sitcom like theme, but yeah, it is what it is. So I will just like, I'll show you the bits and pieces from this. Like I said, I still think it sounds good, but something about it just didn't sit right with me. And I'll try to find the other project file after this really quick so I can show you what that looks like. But yeah, let's listen to this bit right here. Oh, hold up. Okay, here we go. Now it's just going to be another portion of this part. I think whether it would have been the verse or the bridge or something like that. But yeah, this was the main chunk of the song right here. Yeah, and that's that. Like I said, turned out fine. Not what I entirely wanted though, so I decided to scrap it and try to make something else, which I will try to find right now. Okay, yeah, here is the project file for what the Cast Reveal song ended up being. A lot of automation and stuff, not really that much. Could have been way more. But I used a lot of samples for this. Like the main key samples that you hear is I pulled off of Looperman, and I kind of chopped it up in a way to make it fit better. There's not really too much to say here. It's a lot of sampling and just composing the samples in a way that I thought sounded good. This melody was completely made up by me. The It's pretty neat stuff. There's also a bass solo, a slap bass solo that is not that prevalent, but I think it sounds pretty cool. It's this part right here. Pretty cool. And then the song kind of mellows out from there and just plays the loops, the main loop with some hats until the very end. It's a very simple song, all things considered, way more simple than the first one. Just because I didn't have to think so much about chord progressions and samples and stuff like that. It was more about figuring out the actual general flow of the song. More about putting the samples together, like I was given the pieces beforehand. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the behind the scenes. I don't know how many people will find this interesting at all, if anyone will find it interesting. But if you did, hope you learned something or got something out of this. Not necessarily learned something, but I enjoy talking about this kind of stuff. And yeah, pretty neat. Thanks for watching, fellas, gamers. I don't know.